Hello and welcome to the latest What Happens Next puzzle. The concept is very simple. I'm going to take you through a game and then at a certain moment stop and give you a couple of choices and you have to decide what should happen next. As you can see, the backdrop is slightly different to normal. I'm not in my usual office studio, but I'm in the Chessbase studio in Hamburg. So I thought, I'm doing some recordings here this week, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to do a little puzzle as well. So here we go. This is a game from the Reykjavik Open, played just a couple of days ago, between Armin from Egypt and Andrew Muir from Scotland, and an old colleague of mine. So Armin is white and plays this slightly unusual move, g3. He hasn't committed his pawns yet to either d3 or c3, or indeed he might still play d4. And Muir plays in very orthodox fashion, fianchettoing his bishop. Everything looks very normal. And now c3, so white threatens to get 2 pawns in the middle of the board with d4. So black clamps down on this with e5. And now you could perhaps try to play something like knight here, knight c2, and then go for d4 as a possibility. It's a little bit slow. You could even sacrifice a pawn here with d4, although I don't quite believe it. But anyway, white plays steadily with d3. And black is playing a kind of Botvinnik system. Now, it's quite a key idea for both players here to try and force through f5. So white is looking to play f4, and black very often plays f5 in these kind of positions. So, on each turn you have to consider, is this a decent move? Well, I think black probably could play it here. But there are various things you'd have to consider. I mean, it could be that white plays f4. It could be you meet this with queen d2. It could be you take and play f4. So it's still very tricky indeed, but f5 certainly comes into consideration. But instead black waited with bishop e6. Okay, development, never a bad idea. And knight d2. And now white gets in f4, so he's the first to go for this break. Rook ac8 from Muir. Well, sometimes it can be important to give some support to that pawn, but well, let's see what happens. Knight f3. So white is perhaps angling to play knight g5 at some moment, but certainly you can see all the pieces concentrating on the king side. h6. I'm not sure about that move. It seems to me to weaken black's king position, and queen d2 immediately targets that pawn on h6. King h7 from black, and now white played this absolutely typical break, f5. So this has to be taken. Black captures with the knight, white captures, and this is the moment when you're going to have to think for yourself and decide what happens next. I'm going to give you two alternatives. And once the video stops, you'll see two buttons on your screen, and you click on the move that you want to make, and that'll take you through to the next video where I'll give you my thoughts on that move. So, the first move I'm going to offer you is knight to h4, obviously threatening the bishop. And the second move I'm going to offer you is knight takes e5. So which of those moves would you choose? Either knight h4 or knight takes e5. Have a good look, and once you've made your choice, do click through to the next video while I'll explain all.